myself, I am in the right place at the right time all the time. My purpose is within me, and I am successful because I apply the knowledge that I receive. And I will tell you this, God does not expose you to something that is not possible for you. What's up, entrepreneurs? Welcome back into my channel. I'm super excited to be here, and I just wanted to take some time to introduce myself to you guys. If you're new here, if you don't know me, so you can get to know me and understand what it is that you can expect here from me and my channel. So my name is Taylor, or Coach Tay, or whatever you want to call me, as long as it's nice. And I am an entrepreneur, but I'm also a 9-to-5er. I work with the federal government, and I have been in the federal government for the last 7 years. And I've taken my career on quite a few different journeys, but I did start my career as a state trooper in the state of Mississippi. So if you hear a little twang on my videos, you hear a little country, that's where it's from. I am from Mississippi originally, but I do reside now in Los Angeles, California, and I've been here for the last 6 years. So I started my career in law enforcement, still in law enforcement, and I began my entrepreneurship journey when I moved to California. I had humble beginnings when it comes to my entrepreneurial journey. 5 months after moving to California, one of the most expensive states in this country, my grandfather was killed in a hit and run accident, and my life changed forever. I was pretty devastated. It was, not an expected death. My grandfather was completely healthy, and he was walking to church, and he was crossing the street and got hit by a car. And that was the moment that my sister and I started to learn what it means to build generational wealth and to make sure that our families are set up for success when we leave this earth. And that's where my passion really grew for the entrepreneurial, financial literacy, personal finance space. And so that's what you guys can expect to learn from me here. But just a little bit more about that story, it's also when I started my real estate investing journey, right? So when my grandfather passed away, my sister and I inherited 3 properties here in California. And these properties are properties that have been in my family since before I was born. But unfortunately, all 3 of those properties had mortgages, and to this day, I'm still not 100% sure why they had mortgages, but it wasn't an ideal situation. And, through a lot of pressure from family to sell our properties and things like that, I knew that we needed to hold on to them. So even though they were headaches, and one of them still is to this day, but it was a really learning experience. And I was able to take the information that I learned, because the good thing from my grandfather passing was that my family did have a trust. And this is how I learned what a trust was, because I didn't have to go to court to fight for property that was rightfully mine. My grandparents did a great job of putting together a trust that had my name and my sister's name and what they wanted to happen. And the attorney that we hired was able to execute that trust so that we can move forward with our lives. So that's kind of how I got started, or grew my inspiration into wanting to get started in the real estate, because I had these properties that I needed to figure out how could I leverage them, because they were liabilities. All 3 of them, complete liabilities, mortgages, tenants that weren't paying. Like, it was a headache. And my grandfather didn't have life insurance. So, I just moved to California, a 6-figure job, a job that didn't really care about me and what I had going on. They only really cared about the mission. And, it was a really tough time for me as a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, in this big city trying to figure it out. So ultimately I ended up having to sleep in my car because I Airbnb'd my apartment trying to make money because we had to pay for my grandfather's funeral. And I ended up having to pay the mortgage on 2 different houses at the same time. So I couldn't really afford my rent. So I was working night shifts at work just so I could have a place to go at night. It was a mess. So it was a mess, but it didn't last very long until I finally figured out, how to get myself out of this rut, right? And so that's when I decided I was going to flip my first property. And I flipped my first house in Mississippi in 2018, and I haven't looked back since. So since then, I used my own money to flip my very first property. Then I got a mentor, and he showed me how to flip properties without using my own money. And so that's the method that I've been using since then. But I've also learned and understood that this process, like real estate, investing in general, preparing for retirement. I have a great job. I have 13 years left to work this job, and I plan to keep my job until I retire. But the good thing about what my plan for my life is that I don't have to work until I die. I know that for a fact. I know that I'm setting myself up to collect my retirement because that's what I want to do. And that when it's time for me to retire, when I'm 42, I'm going to walk out the door, and I won't need to collect my retirement right away because I will have myself set up in my real estate and my other investments and my retirement so that I can leave peacefully and continue to live my life. And that is my inspiration for all of you, if you desire that for yourself. But that is just where my love for this area of life comes from: building wealth, understanding the steps that you can take to become more financially free is what I feel my purpose in this life is. And I really thoroughly enjoy helping other people have those aha moments where they can say, oh my gosh, I understand what my plan for the future is. And so that's why I'm here. And that's what you guys can expect, to get more content on how to prepare for your future and even your right now, how to use your right now to prepare for your future, both financially, spiritually, financially, all of that. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this helps you get to know me a little bit more. And I'll see y'all on my other videos. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share this with somebody who you think this channel might bless them. And I'll see y'all on my other videos.